Quite a tough one to take, Leanne. It didn't feel as though there was a huge amount between the two teams. In actual fact, I think you could maybe argue the best of the chances at some point.
Yeah, I no doubt. Listen, frustrated that you don't have anything to show for our efforts. I thought in terms of the application and the way we went about the game today was pretty good. The only fault at this point I can really find is the manner in which we've defended the set piece at the end, when you kind of need people to be on their toes and just a bit more aggressive and a bit savvy. We're doing our jobs and the ball travels, there's 2 contacts and 2 opportunities to go and contest it, and we don't do either. So they're frustrated by that. I know they are in the dressing room, because they gave us everything this afternoon in terms of that. So no, there's never a lot in these games. We know that, marginal gains and losses, and unfortunately for us this afternoon, we're going to need to suffer a little bit.
It obviously takes City to the top of the table. They've got a game in hand as well. Does that feel significant at this point, or do you feel as though it's just way too early in the season to be looking at tables, given you actually know how competitive it is?
I get it. I think the psychological edge in these games can be something at points, but I know the group, and I know looking at the group of players that we've got just now and what we're building and the improvements that we've still got. So look, I think for City, to their credit, they've started the season really well, and they've come through a tough European journey within that as well, which to a point has probably helped them, just the fact that they're at a level and certainly they're motoring and they've been in a really good place. So I don't think them moving to the top, and I know the game that they've got, they don't get much tougher than having to face Hibs on Wednesday night. So look, for them it's a tough run in regards to games, but for us we're pretty focused on the job that we've got, and as I say, the improvements that we've got within the group I think is exciting to see. I felt May coming into the squad today and from the start was really impressive for a young player, one that we're keen to integrate in as quickly as we possibly can and really get her up to speed in terms of that first team environment, in which she's been superb last season, progressing into this. Quinty coming on the pitch this afternoon as well, another real positive for us, and all the other players that have been there week on week just now, giving a little bit more than you would necessarily expect at this stage of the season. So we're comfortable in terms of where we're looking to try and get to. We're just, as I say, going to need to suffer a little bit today with regards to the result and how that reflects in the league table.
In some ways, was it a game you were quite keen to get over with, just because of the backdrop to the story, obviously having left City so recently and coming in so close to the start of the campaign, that there was always going to be a bit of noise around the first time that you played them? Honestly,
it didn't change my mindset. I don't know if that's a reflection of me or the club or where I'm at. I don't know if that's just maybe how busy my days are just now, that I've only got one focus, and that's on preparing the team and making sure that the players in this Rangers dressing room have got a game plan and an opportunity to go and express themselves. So look, the fixture it's a nice one as well now, because I don't think there's ever going to be any animosity between the two sides for as long as I'm in one dugout and Leanne's in the other. We were able to part that friendship for 90 minutes and she has the bragging rights today. That's just the way it will be. So no, it was nice to host Glasgow City. I'm just really frustrated that we've got nothing from the game, and as I say, I'll suffer tonight for that, and the players will suffer certainly.
Putting your phone off tonight?
Aye, maybe.
Have they changed at all from when you were there last year? Did they spring any surprises on you?
No, I don't think so. The way that they went about the game was virtually kind of what we expected. Look, they're a talented group. They've got a really strong squad. I touched on there. I think the European run just now has probably helped them in terms of where they're at as a group, and the opportunity to rotate the squad and use that as a real asset. But I felt the way we conducted ourselves in the game today nullified a lot of the threats that they've shown. I think coming off the back of the result against Hearts last week, a lot of people might have looked at that as a team that were really going to go and blow us away today, and ultimately Glasgow City have got 3 points this afternoon. But I think if they were being honest, that they would recognise they were in a real good game against a top team as well. So no, there was no surprises.
Yeah, you touched on me in midfield, but there's a few academy players there. You've got Jodie as well and Mia. How important is it to have these girls come through and show there is a pathway there to get into the first team here at Rangers?
Yeah, absolutely. The pathway is everything, and there's going to be so much more of an emphasis on it even than in years gone by. I think we're really lucky just now. It was part of the excitement for me to take this job was to come and work with the young Scottish talent that we've got in the team. and I look at them this afternoon, the way they go and express themselves and how they play and how they've conducted themselves this far in the season. So yeah, it's really important that we continue that pathway. It's my job to try and offer that connection, but also to offer that opportunity to young players that when they're good enough, they'll get an opportunity in the first team.
And just how impressive has May been, of course, at such a young age. How do you manage her transition into the first team properly?
To be honest, there's not a lot of management to do. I think you could see that from her performance this afternoon. I look at her national team wise as well in terms of the pathway that she's on with England at the moment, and being across the games and the involvement that she's had there as well. She never looks out of place. She's a top talent. It's my job and the staff's job here to support her and allow her an opportunity to develop and grow without putting too much pressure on her at a young age. I know how quickly that can impact players, but I think when you look at her performance this afternoon, no, she's not one that needs managed, if I'm honest.
And just how much are the players enjoying it? No, probably not enjoying today with the result, enjoying playing at Ibrox on a more regular basis? Yeah,
look, it's obviously a brilliant opportunity for us. I just wish in these types of afternoon that we could get more fans and bums on seats, if I'm being honest. But in terms of the environment, the pitch and the opportunity to go and play and express yourself as a footballer, it's one of the best. So yeah, we're looking to try and embrace that. But as I say, today's probably a tough day to really enjoy that when you have nothing to show from the game.
Did the schedule give you a bit of headache then for this? Was the fact that there's a men's game on that's crossing over? I think it makes it really difficult.
Yeah, look, it's never ideal, I know, and I get that, and in the way the men's calendar is operating in European games and whatnot, it becomes really tricky. So we are trying, like the rest of the club, to be agile and open to the opportunities to be here and trying to grow the game. And as I say, it's an unbelievable environment for the players to play in terms of the pitch and the facilities and coming here. But I don't mind where we play. It could be a public park. If you win the game, it will feel a lot better than today.
The subs bench today was a bit light and there was 2 goalkeepers. Do you have any concerns about the depth of the squad?
Look, it's been tough in terms of the start to the season. We know where we're at. I think in recent weeks we've managed to get a couple of bodies back. We're still without a few that we would be keen to get back in the next couple of weeks. Leanne being back in the matchday squad today as well was a bonus for us. She's in a really good path in terms of her injury and looking to get back. And Thelma had suffered just with a bit of illness over the last couple of days, so we had brought in Megan Cunningham just to give us that reinforcement just in case. But with regards to the squad, we know where we're at. As I say, a couple of bodies will be back in the next couple of weeks, hopefully by the next time the league comes round again, so we'll be absolutely fine. And
you have the cup game coming up against St Johnstone in the league below. Is that kind of the ideal fixture to go into off the back of a defeat? Maybe one that would probably be better to build confidence back up?
If it was my preference, I would play Glasgow City tomorrow again to try and make myself feel better. But no, look, the cup is always a nice distraction that you can go and shift your focus. It'll be a different week in terms of just the preparation of the mindset and an opportunity for us to really go and focus on us, whilst respecting our opponent. So it'll be a good one at home, and then from there we'll look and shift the focus back to league duty. So a really big couple of weeks for the club.
And the cup's been a real big place for the team in the last few years. It's where they've got their success. Are you looking to carry that on this year in both the cups?
Absolutely. Look, I think that's the pressure. I don't think anybody gets to sit here and be happy just to go and compete. The expectation is that you're competing to win, and that'll be no different. Like the cups, you're right to say that. There's been really good success over the last number of seasons, so we'll hopefully keep ourselves in the thick of it, and we'll look forward to that. But any opportunity just now to go on the grass and go and play competitive games in this type of environment with that group is really exciting, so we'll see how far it takes us.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks.